The most beautiful creatures in the whole world, black people.
The truth of black women, the truth of women of color and of people of color, and also the reality that white women, overwhelmingly majority of them, voted for Donald Trump, right? So this idea that the revolution was going to be led by feminism, by white feminism, was just completely false to me. There was a complete lack of reality in the conversation about white women's racism, white culture, and how it brought us to this moment. And so the sign was really intended to disrupt, to agitate, and to intervene. 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump. That means someone that you know voted for this outcome that brought us this. These are your people. You need to go back and organize your communities. Don't come to DC to have a conversation with everybody who agrees with you. Go back home and talk to those folks who you know subscribe to the white supremacist, sexist, violent, classist ideals that are now damaging so much of our country. And so as I got there, I was standing in front of the Capitol, looking around, taking in the scene, and just sort of observing what was happening. And then Kevin saw the moment, you know, he sort of had the vision. He was like, just stop, wait there. And so I was doing my best to be a good model, to be a good subject. And it was Kevin who really saw the white women who were, you know, doing their thing, whether it was texting or taking selfies. Folks reached out to use it in their academic papers. We've had several news outlets, including the New York Times and USA Today, run features on it. And this is not just during the Women's March and the aftermath, but throughout the year. It was featured in a TED Talk in London, the new African American History and Cultural Museum in Washington, D.C., to actually have it submitted as an exhibit, which was incredibly humbling and exciting for us. As an activist and as an organizer who has lots of experience taking direct action and using that as a way to make change, it was a reminder that there are opportunities to disrupt, to engage, to agitate, and to change the conversation in all aspects of our life, not just at a march, but in our conversations online, on social media, when we're talking to our family and friends. There are always moments to intervene, to disrupt. We saw it with elections in Virginia, with elections in Alabama, where once again, majority of white women voted for a racist, sexist, anti-immigrant candidate. And so I think that in this moment, a year later, there's still a lot of searching, soul searching, that white feminists and white women that are at the forefront of you know, pushing back and resisting and responding to the Trump administration need to do to really wake up and answer some of these questions about how we got here and what it means for them to not just trust black women, to not just follow black women, but to take a step back and challenge white supremacy in their own community. There was just this performative action, right? Like, we're gonna show up and we're gonna make our voices heard without doing the work that they needed to do to understand how we got here and the role that they played in it, right? And so you have the white women, you know, performing action and performing activism, and you have me as a black woman standing in front of them doing my work, doing the work to say the hard truths, and to intervene in the dominant narrative that was leaving out so many folks, so many voices, and so many experiences that needed to be heard in that moment.
Hey, but it's fine for the white tees at Quick Stop, ain't it?